Yes, people, how are we? We are back live with the Redmen TV for your player ranking show. I am Errol Smith, and I'm going to talk you through the 11 and the subs that beat Southampton 3-0 to progress to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, where you know we will be headed to Old Trafford next to take on Manchester United. But first, let's rank these academy kids. I feel like we should be grading them at this point. It shouldn't even be like a boss sound, do you mess it? It should be like, did anyone get an A star? Did anyone get an A? Did anyone get an F? Like, I feel like that should be how we should be ranking these, because some of these kids are ridiculously young. Some of these kids should be, it's past the bedtime for a start, and they should be getting up or getting the bags packed and ready for school tomorrow. But they have just delivered the performance of men tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll start with the man of the moment for me, Kelleher. At the minute, I think he's been absolutely incredible for what he's done for us since he's had to come in Alisson's absence. I know he would have been, he would have been the guy for the Carabao Cup final anyway, but he still had to step up the other day. And he's continued and carried that form into, obviously, tonight's performance. I thought he came up with some big first half saves. There was a few that may have been a little bit, not a little bit offside, but they would have been called potentially or pulled back for offside. But he wasn't to know that. He still had to come up with some big stops. He made some smart saves as well. Comfortable, but his ball handling and his collection. And then again, moving the ball out and getting us on the front foot. It's something he does really well for us in goal. And I just thought tonight, it was another solid performance from Kelleher. Again, keeps another clean sheet, comes up with some big saves and some big moments to keep us in the game, especially at a time, opening 20 minutes. It was a little bit shaky for Liverpool. Southampton really wanted to try and get at us early, see if they could put some of these young lads under pressure and make us fold and crumble. But they all stood up, and he was a really strong component in that performance for Liverpool tonight for me. So I'm going to go to the chat and see what the chat has got to say on this one. We've got Freedom Journey there that says boss. Adam also says boss. Sean King, he says boss as well. Okay. Do you know what? I was always going to go boss, but I'm glad that the chat is all in agreement there. Kelleher is the first one to make his way over to the boss section of the player rankings. Joe Gomez, I don't think anybody expected to see Joe Gomez playing in the six as a little bit of a double pivot, sometimes as the six and a bit of the anchor in the base of that midfield, just in front of Quansah and Virgil van Dijk. But I think he added a little bit of solidity to us, not so much in the transitions. I think once Southampton, who was playing a very risky game of trying to play out from the back consistently, I did feel as though Joe, at that point, he was taken out of the game almost, and it was almost a bit of a, there was 3v3s, 4v4s, all of that was going on. But I did think when he was on the ball and moving the ball and actually getting us on the front foot, I've also done really well. And I also like the way that he was making that similar sort of triangle that Endo makes when he's played in the six, really. Virgil van Dijk will win his header, Endo will position himself in the right place, and then he'll clear it up. Joe Gomez, it was almost like for like in that respect today. And I do think that his ability on the ball is increased a lot, especially over his performances from last year and the year before. So it was a massive performance for me from Joe Gomez tonight in an unfamiliar position, but I felt like he handled it, did his thing. Can't really say anything where he put us in any danger or put a foot wrong or made a rash or, a stupid tackle or challenge at any point as well. So it was a really mature performance from Joe Gomez tonight. The shooting, okay, so someone's mentioned it in the chat there. The shooting is probably the one area where we're desperate. We're all desperate to see a Joe Gomez goal. However, again, he still hasn't found those shooting boots. He's looking for them. He's doing his best, but he's not naturally gifted when it comes to striking a ball, let's just say that. I think that's putting it kind. Joe, what are we feeling, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat? Max says anyone over 25 is sound. Yeah, but Cullen says he stepped into the role really well. What does he say there? A high sound in a new position. Okay. I can work with that. Captain Joe, sound. The chat saying sound, Was it just sound? Or was it boss? Let me know. Quick, get it in now. Interact. Get your thoughts in. Because I'm tempted to have him here. But are you telling me that he needs to just be there? Really? Is that what we're saying for Joe Gomez tonight? I'm going to go with you guys as the chat. I'll put him in there as sound for now. Ladies and gentlemen, Jarell Quansah. Again, another academy graduate that has excelled beyond belief this season so far for us. You know, he did set out in his mind that he would take Joel Matip's place as Liverpool's fourth choice centre-half. And I think, you know, Matip's injury came at a time when, you know, he was playing some good football for us as well. So it would have been a tall order to ask of a young man. But in the biggest compliment I can give is the level of quality has not dropped since Joel Matip has left and been unable to play for Liverpool this season. This young lad has been absolutely incredible, and he's hardly put a foot wrong. And I want to say he's probably played close to 15 to 20 games for us so far this season. It feels like he's played a lot of football, and tonight was another great example of just how composed and calm he looks when he's got the ball at his feet. He plays with a real maturity for such a young lad. And there was a couple of instances there where he's had to use his body and his physicality, and he's got it in abundance. So for a young man of that age to be doing what he's doing at this level at the moment, it is phenomenal to see. And again, it just goes to show, when we were screaming for the Colwills of this world in the summer in another centre-half, we need to go into the market. When you can bring through an academy player like that, of that level and that quality, you don't always have to dig into the coffers to go and buy yourself the next best, because he is absolutely incredible. We've got some comments saying sound, just sound, upper sound, boss, you're messing. C. Moss really says you're messing. Wow. What game was you watching, bro? Like, let me know. Give me some more comments and some thoughts. We've got somebody else saying, no, it wasn't boss, he didn't dominate. Okay, are these still on about Joe Gomez? Okay, wait there, boss, yeah. Now people are saying he's a Virgil van Dijk, regen, simply boss. Yeah, I think it's fair to say Quansah definitely belongs there. Virgil van Dijk, ladies and gents, only had 45 minutes to do his work tonight, but again, the captain, the lad that wanted to lead these young men to victory, wanted to get them off on the right foot, wanted to give them that confidence. And I do believe whenever he plays, the team around them has got a lot more confidence that anything is possible. He gives them that confidence. Whereas on the weekend, we needed his presence for set pieces. Today, we had the play. We had it from open play. We had that creativity. We had that fluidity. I think that was the benefit of playing these academy players together in this crop of players. They have that chemistry together. So when you add in the stable and calm presence of a Virgil van Dijk, you're always going to get that extra 10 to 15% in terms of your performance. I did like Virgil's performance tonight, ladies and gents. Thought he was comfortable on the ball. Don't really think he looked stressed at any real point in time. I thought defensively he was sound. Yeah, got people saying he's a high boss. He makes the others boss, is what Chris Levy says. Setting the bar. Yeah, higher than boss, he is the godfather. Yeah, he should be off the screen almost, maybe. Virgil van Dijk, it's never in doubt. If he's playing on his game on any given day, it's going to be boss, and Liverpool are going to be boss as a result of it. Kostas Tsimikas, guys and girls, let me know now in the chat. Give me your thoughts on that. The performance from Kostas, there was some good and there was some bad, I'll be honest. It wasn't all great with Kostas tonight. I thought there was a few under-hit passes or a few wayward balls that were played at times. I don't think his deliveries from set pieces were his best as well. Obviously, we know how good he can be off set pieces because we've got a Carabao Cup, the 10th, as a result of one of his set pieces. So it probably wasn't the night where I'd say Kostas was boss. But again, I don't think there was much wrong in his game. I don't really think he got exposed too often. I don't think we got caught out in that left-back position from Liverpool tonight. I would quite happily put him in the sound category. But if anybody can remember something that stands out, that puts him a little bit higher, please do let me know in the chat. I love Tsimikas. Someone says maestro of music, but that was sound. Kostas was sound. Kostas played well in the first half. Upper sound, maybe lower than Joey G. High sound is the defensive effort is there from Shari Han. Who else have we got there? Kostas was sound. Yeah. I'd probably put him just a little touch above Joe Gomez there. Maybe. Let me know if I'm way off the mark there, ladies and gents. And if we start to move into midfield now, we've got McConnell. Again, another academy prospect, graduate, getting minutes again in an FA Cup tie for Liverpool and coming on and doing the business. I thought he looked really good on the ball at times tonight. I thought for a young lad to have that drive, again, the nice passes. I think these youngsters that we're going to mention now going forward, they're all technically really good. I don't really think there was a lot in his game that he didn't do well. But at the same time, he wasn't someone that every time he got the ball, I was like, oh my God, what's he going to do next? I genuinely felt like it was an assured performance from him. I'd say that he was in a safe pair of hands. He didn't look like a weak link in that midfield. So my instinct is telling me that he was another one that was just sound. But again, from an academy perspective, if your academy kids can come on and do that on any given night at Anfield, I am more inclined to say that's boss. Like, if you've got academy kids that are coming out and doing that, that is what you want from them. That is the levels. That is boss. So I do think we've got to give these young lads their flowers tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's an opportunity for us to really, gas them up, give them that love, give them what they've given us on the pitch tonight, and what we can repay them is giving them the credit where it's due. And I do think I'd be selling any of these youngsters short if I didn't rate them as highly as at least a boss in all categories tonight, because they ticked every single box. So I think that's well deserved. Do let me know in the chat if I'm being too kind, but let's be honest, these kids have bossed it tonight. They've had an amazing week, a lot of them, and he's absolutely bossed it. Harvey Elliott, another one. Again, a little bit older, got lots more experience than some of these young lads. But again, it's his desire and it's his passion, it's his drive in the game. You can just see how much he loves playing for this club. You can see how much it means to him every time he steps onto the pitch. And again, I think it was another performance where he is someone that is so important for Jurgen Klopp at times that you can't really underestimate the impact that he does have in a game. I thought Harvey was able to move the ball. He's very technical. There was a nice couple of triangles and link-up play that he was able to do. There was some lovely, in the second half, one-touch passes, trying to create an opening in the final third. Didn't come off, but again, he's at the heart of everything, and he really is integral to a lot of that. He's another one for me that in the last couple of games has really stepped up. And again, at a point in time when we needed him to step away from being a super sub and now getting those type of performances or those levels of performances from the off and from the first whistle, I think Harvey Elliott isn't, the pennies finally dropped and we have now starting to see the best out of him. Dickie Red says, Harvey was boss, seemed to have more energy in the second half, never stopped. Harvey gives the kids confidence and looks after them. He's their shepherd, which is nice to see. We've got someone, Luke Damon says, he's an actual workhorse. And Christian Hayes just says, boss. Boss. All right, then, cool. I can live with that. Harvey Elliott, another certified boss in the mix tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a lot of certified bosses, I'll be real. But here's another one, another academy graduate in Clark. I'm all right, where's that midfield? That was the only area for me tonight where I thought, and I think that's where Klopp had the masterstroke of playing Joe Gomez. So even though we can say it was just sound, he didn't need to be more than sound. But adding that extra body in midfield and allowing these young lads to really have that freedom and that license to get on the ball, drive, be confident and comfortable. A lot of good work came from these two in particular, and as well, Harvey Elliott and what he's able to offer. But again, I thought it was another good performance from Clark. And again, you enjoy watching him. You enjoy watching them on the ball. You enjoy how technically gifted these young lads are. I know a lot of that is drilled into them from such a young age at the moment, and that seems to be the case across all of academy football. But the levels that we're performing at the moment and the expectations and the pressure to be able to do it at Anfield is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I've got a lot of people. Max says he's a playground bully. Bobby was man of the match if it wasn't for Dan, someone else says. Shuffle them along to the left, someone else says there, because it's about to get busy. Do you know what? Good housekeeping. Very, 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 very good housekeeping. It is about to get busy. We've got some young lads in the mix there. And Bobby Clark is another one that is going to join McConnell and Harvey Elliott as boss. That midfield was boss. That midfield really helped us, especially in that second half, really take the game away from Southampton. Southampton's approach to things, it didn't waver, it didn't change at all. They wanted to play out from the back, and those lads there, they got so much confidence knowing that it's only going to take one mistake and we're going to be in. They played the ball quick, there was pace on the balls, they all knew their purpose and their jobs tonight, and I think they executed it. They executed Klopp's game plan to perfection. So as we move further down, this young man, nothing short of absolute brilliance from Conor Bradley, ladies and gents. I'll be real. Like, he has been incredible since he's stepped into the shoes of Trent Alexander-Arnold at times. But tonight we've seen him playing as a right winger. Had to do a lot of work going backwards in that first half, but was always a willing runner. Didn't really get caught out. Defensively, he looks so capable in that defensive position as a right back. He looks very comfortable and at home there, but he does offer stuff going forward as well. He is an outball. He does have good delivery, and he's got that knack for that link-up play and being able to play those cute passes in and behind and in and around, triangles. He had the works tonight. There was a lot of range to his game, and it'd be interesting to watch back and see exactly the areas where he was able to expose Southampton at times and really help us get on the front foot. But again, I think it was another strong performance from Bradley. It'd be interesting to see what some of your thoughts and feelings are on that. World class. Yeah, boss, 100%. Nick says absolutely boss. Michael LFC says boss. So composed. Ravenite. Freedom Journey says, ooh, is he generational? Again, if we get another generational right back out of this academy in the next couple of years, we've absolutely struck gold. But I am in agreement with you there. He is fantastic. And yet, it's just the composure on the ball. He just looks so comfortable and confident. And I think that's it at the moment. The confidence levels through this team at the minute are absolutely through the roof. And long may that continue, because we've seen how difficult it can be for kids to break through and really nail down a place, but these young lads will all feel as though they have a very bright future and they don't have to look at other clubs as an opportunity. They can make it here at Liverpool if they continue to do all the good work that they've been doing. So yeah, for me, Bradley sits there comfortably. Oh, maybe not so comfortable if I don't put him up there properly, but he'll stay for the time being. Right, let's see. Who have we got next? Cody Gakpo. Going to be a difficult one, really, to score. My gut, and I'll tell you what my gut's telling me straight away. My gut's telling me he's just sound. I'll call it like that. That's what my gut's telling me. He was just sound, because even though there was no end product, there is always the desire, there's always the hunger, and he's always willing to get involved and get amongst it. I think there's some good hold-up play there from Cody Gakpo. I think at the moment there may be a little bit of an issue with the amount of games that he's been getting and the positions that he's played in, because we're not currently able to get the best out of him. I did think he struggled at times. The first half, and this is probably the third time that I'll have said it, so forgive me if you've been watching all evening, but when you play as the senior forward, when you're playing with a fringe squad or some academy players and whatnot, there is the tendency to feel like you're in a bit of a graveyard shift, because you're having to do it all. You're having to create, you're having to provide assists, you're having to be the focal point or provide a finish. But tonight, these crop of players, Koumas included, who we'll come on to in a minute, teed him up a couple of times, and not only with half chances, what I would consider to have been really gilt-edged chances that someone of Cody Gakpo's quality should have been finishing better. His finishing was all over the place, and you can't get away from that, especially when you see what young Danns comes on to do later on in the second half and the way that he finishes his chances, which to me, again, the first one was at a much more difficult angle than Cody's in the first half. And the second finish of that anticipation, again, Cody Gakpo's been caught on his heels quite a few times. And again, not necessarily just in this game, but in recent weeks. So it is interesting to see that the dynamic and the the comparison between the two approaches from the forwards today. But for me, I would struggle to move him any higher than sound. The fact that we win 3-0 and he's part of that, that's why he's sound. If that was another game where we was heavily reliant and these lads and the young lads couldn't have been effective, looked like they was out of the depth, I don't know if Cody Gakpo bails us out, and that is the worrying thing. Mad Dog says, Cody was a force on the field, finishing was wayward, so just sound. Isaac says, my problem with him is that when he misses, he just looks so down, unlike Nunes, who just smiles and gets on with it. He looks low on confidence, and it worries me. Maybe it is a confidence thing as well. That might be a bit of a fair observation. Aaron James there says, he's tired and looks insecure with his finishing. Body language, it's obvious. Yeah, there seems to be a lot. I think a lot of people there are all in a little bit of agreement in terms of there might be a confidence issue with Cody Gakpo at the moment. But these are massive opportunities for him. Make no mistake about it. Tonight was a real opportunity to say, Klopp, you can rely on me. There are going to be games on the weekend. You can rely on me. And I think the amount of minutes that he's played now, hopefully it does suggest that there will be Salah, Nunes potentially fit to come back into the fold and get back into the mix. Because for me, I struggle to move him away from that soundbar, if I'm being honest. Koumas, this young lad, debut, goal. How old is he? 18, 17, 12? I haven't got a clue. But what he was able to do, I was really impressed with how, I keep saying about a couple of these really technical, he was silky on the ball tonight. He was really silky. And he looked, he reminds me of what I've been screaming for Luis Diaz to do. Just drive at a man, drop a shoulder and beat him straight away. Don't give him a chance to get set and start to think about what you're going to do next. He was really, really impressive for me tonight. And obviously he then gets that goal at such a pivotal time for Liverpool as well, to just take the game a little bit away from Southampton, make them think differently about how they approach that second half. They couldn't just afford to just keep in the game and try and nick something late. They had to go out and attack Liverpool. They had to really continue to do what they believe to be the right way. And as a result, his goal just helped us ease that pressure and just gave everybody a little bit of confidence. And I do truly believe his goal enables Virgil van Dijk to go off for half-time being like, job has been done. So for me, he is another lad that is going to go straight up there as boss. There's no two ways about it. Yeah, we've got people saying these youngsters are truly going to reinvent the squad. And I'm so happy, absolutely. Nick says Koumas was direct and confident, absolutely boss. Koumas, the fastest 1.3 litre car in the car park. The kids had that we don't give a shit attitude tonight. They certainly did. They took the piss out of Southampton in the end, brother. Let me tell you that. They absolutely took the piss. Taylor says, have you got a girl? Because you're, what? That's... Yes, but no. So it's got nothing to do with you. Talking ball. Errol, from all the young lads that featured tonight, who do you think will achieve the most at Liverpool? Ooh, that's a great comment. Chat, not just me. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this on a playback. Out of the young players that featured tonight, who do you think will have the brightest future at Liverpool? For me, I can't really look past Quansah or Bradley at the moment, just because I've seen more of a body of work. I've got a bigger sample size to kind of gauge that that question on, if I'm being honest with you, and considering what this squad potentially needs. I'm thinking Bradley is a perfect understudy for Trent in certain games, maybe gives Trent the opportunity to move into midfield. Quansah, again, means that we don't necessarily have to look into the transfer market for another centre-back. He could be him, Gomez, Konate, they could take the mantle from Virgil van Dijk at some point in time. He looks like a Virgil van Dijk regen. So if he ever reached that level, oh my God, what kind of player have we got on our hands? But then you've still got to give a lot of credit for the likes of Harvey Elliott, for Koumas, Clark, and we'll get on to Danns as well, and Nyonya, who have not seen a great deal of. But there is a lot of talent on display here, and make no mistake about it, whatever these lads go on to do in the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years' time, what they are going to do with this season for Liverpool still may be their career highlights in 10 years' time to come. And that could be the same, be said, that could say that for Virgil van Dijk, and you know what I mean? So that is not to downplay what they will go on to do. It just goes to show how special a season this could be for the entire Liverpool squad. Right, if we then move on to some substitutes, there's still 5 there. Konate comes on in the second half, takes over Virgil's spot. For me, straight in there. I would say, I'm trying to squeeze him into boss. I feel like that's where I'm trying to squeeze Konate into. I just love him. He's an absolute beast. Like, you don't beat him for power, you don't beat him for pace. You know, his reading of the game's getting better week in, week out. He seems a lot more streetwise and savvy. He doesn't look as rash. He is the firefighter for us, but he seems to time things a lot better at the moment. I do think he is boss. Don't let the lines confuse you there. I'm running out of space, but he was boss for me. McAllister, yeah, Aaron says that he was a colossal. Ibu, yeah, someone saying he thinks he played better than Virgil van Dijk, to be honest. You know what? Yeah, no, I rate it. I do. But Alexis McAllister, another one he came on, and I was made up that he came on because, it just made the game even harder for Southampton. Having someone in midfield that is having so much quality and ability that McAllister possesses just gives us that little extra edge. So I was really, really impressed with his performance tonight. I just thought it was assured and gave us that little bit of solidity in that midfield just at the right time to just shore everything up. McAllister was definitely boss, ladies and gentlemen. Woo-wee! This is the one that Dan made earlier. Blue Peter settings in the cut. We've got Danns. Yo, this kid could be special. This kid could be special. This kid could go all the way to the top. Because that finish for that first goal was scary. It was frightening. The confidence in front of the cop to pull that off. And that execution, he knew exactly what he wanted to do the second the ball was at his feet. He made the run. He times the run to perfection. He's got that pace. He's got the skill. But he's got that ice in his veins. It's Diogo Jota. It's Daniel Sturridge. It's Michael Owen. It's Louis. It's all of them, man. It's Philip Coutinho wrapped up into one in that finish. It was quality on that level. So I'm not like gassing it. Trust me. Watch it back. Tell me I'm lying. Try and convince me otherwise. That was an incredible finish from the young man. Everybody's giving me ice face emojis in the chat. Put the ice face emojis in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, because that was cold. It was. There's no two ways about it. The second finish is just pure hunger, anticipation. He wants it more than the defender. He sniffs the danger. All good strikers know where to sniff a goal from. He's got that. That's a natural God-given ability that you can't coach into players. There they are, the ice. That's what we love to see. It was an incredible performance. It was one that he will remember for the rest of his life. To be able to do that, to come on, what a week he's had. He made his debut a week ago. He wins the Carabao Cup, features in it on a Sunday, and then on the Wednesday he's there scoring 2 goals. The amount of school this kid's missed this week has been ridiculous. But do you know how much we needed him? I mean, I'm not that good with words enough to be able to tell you how sick that was, and it was a really special moment. I'm glad I was able to watch it and we captured it live, because we'll talk about that. The lads will talk about that for weeks and months to come. But he's emerged. A star has been born. And nights like that, I always think with young players, how they start that career, just to give them that momentum and get them out the gate. Getting that first goal just adds to it. You don't want to be a young player struggling for confidence, struggling in front of goal, missing chances. There were so many other ways. The angle was tight, but it was just unbelievable. I want to make some room now, guys. I want to start to put people where I feel like they need to really just get the limelight. The levels of this are there. For me, we've got a star boy right there, ladies and gents. And Onyé, again, comes on. Kid came on with, he turned up in a school uniform. You know, them settings where everybody else is turning up in the match day training kits and that. My guy turned up in his uniform and then still had to put a kit on and still done the business, stepped up like a man. Only got a couple of minutes on the pitch tonight, but that won't matter to him. That will be one of the most incredible evenings that he's ever had. And I'm just made up that, again, he was another bright spark with a lot of talent and a lot of potential. Nothing short of boss for that young man. And then Cade Gordon, finally, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't really do much, but it's nice to see him back, nice to see him featuring. Again, we've won 3-0 against Southampton. Let's just go for boss. Yeah, it does feel a shame that Cody Gakpo's the only real underperformer considering how good everybody else stepped up tonight. But again, I think he's man enough to know that those kids outperformed him tonight, and that he won't take anything away from them, and he'll look at himself to see where he can improve. It's that time of the night. I don't even feel like it's up for debate, but if you had to tell me who your man of the match was, go on. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Get them in the chat now. Let me know who your man of the match is. Don't forget, if you are a Redmen Plus member, you can check out the instant match reaction. You can also check out the player ratings from Dan and Dom out there at the moment. That will be going live on Redmen Plus, so make sure you do check it out. There will also be a lot of content streaming from outside of Anfield and around the ground this evening, so keep an eye out for all of that. You know how we do over here at Redmen. We try to look after you as much as possible, giving you as much access and as much content as humanly possible whenever Liverpool play home or away. So make sure that you do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you like all of the comments wherever you see it across your socials. Make sure you share it. Make sure you show some love. I've been your host, Errol Smith, and I am about to tell you who your man of the match was. I've got shouts for Kelleher. I've got shouts for Bradley. Obviously, I've got shouts for Danns. I love Danns. If you know the song, you know the song. You know it. Yeah, do you know what? Mr. Ice in his veins, for me, has to be the man of the match. The man of the match, the man of the moment, the star that has been born, ladies and gentlemen. You can't even see that, but I have crowned him my man of the match. It is young Danns. And that's been it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been your player ranking show. Thank you very much for sticking around. Thank you for tuning in. I've been your host, Errol Smith, and I will see you all again very, very soon.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the content today. If you want to get your name in and amongst these wonderful people, then head to redmenplus.com. Join as a legend tier subscriber. You're going to get free merchandise codes. You're going to get in our Discord, and you're going to get your name at the end of YouTube videos. Yes, redmenplus.com, legend tier status.